Danville, California, Monte Vista High School. The location today, the Crawdads taking on the Solano Mudcats. The Crawdads are on a 2-game winning streak after winning last night 8-2 in Healdsburg. A massive win for the Crawdads. It got them to 15-15 in CCL North play, so right at 500. Still a game back of second. Lincoln going to play Sonoma tonight in Sonoma, so that game's going to be important to pay attention to. However, the Crawdads know that they have to take care of business here this afternoon against a tough Mudcats team, a Mudcats team that has played them just so difficultly. Every time it seems like the Crawdads need a win or need to get out of a funk, the Mudcats are right there in their way. The Mudcats 14-16 in CCL North play, 17-22 overall. The Crawdads, though, riding a 2-game winning streak. They think that they can keep this thing going, possibly secure that second-place seed and make it to the playoffs in San Luis Obispo in August. Playoffs 4th through the 6th of August, so coming up here pretty soon. There's just a couple of games remaining after today. There's Saturday's game against Lincoln, and then Sonoma is going to be visiting here in Danville on Sunday at 12 p.m. The game tomorrow is in Lincoln, so the Crawdads have to beat the Mudcats. 17 wins might do it, but 18 would look a whole heck of a lot better. And if they're able to win out, they will make the playoffs as they would leapfrog Lincoln. So a lot of chips on the table here before today's game, and there were a lot on the table last night and the day before. So the Crawdads are very used to having their backs up against the wall right now in this last week of the regular season. We'll see if they can pull it out. The Crawdads are looking for their 3rd straight victory in as many days. And we'll have the starting lineups along with the starting pitchers when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play ball.
Well, no national anthem today, but are going to play baseball no matter what. Solano Mudcats looked a bit jazzed up because of that. They're ready to go play. They don't have to stand there out on the line, so everybody is ready. The umpires today, Harvey Maxey behind the plate. Looks like Ron Masso is going to be at third. Indeed, he will be. And Eric Thompson, the first base umpire. So, starting lineups today, the visiting Solano Mudcats. It's Michael Benavidez, who is in left, leading off. Then Kenny DeSalle, the center fielder, batting second. Cole Santander, the catcher, batting third. Chase Hildy, the DH, batting fourth. Jared Wood, the shortstop, batting fifth. Noah Garcia is batting sixth. He's in right field. Jaden Jones, the third baseman, batting seventh. Telly Hill at first, batting eighth. And Tasso Foster batting ninth. He's at second today. Their starting pitcher will be Anthony Galindo. But the starting pitcher of that the Crawdads are going to send out today against the Solano Mudcats in a very important game is Zach Button. Zach Button, a 6-foot righty from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. He's 0-1 so far this summer. This will be his first start, though, this season for the Crawdads. Comes in with a 3.37 ERA. This is his sixth appearance overall. 10 2/3 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, 5 walks, 8 hits. So we haven't seen a whole lot of Button in terms of extended innings appearances. But that's what manager Brant Cummings is hoping to get out of his young righty today. The last appearance for Button was on July 24th. He pitched an inning and 2/3 of shutout ball against the Prune Packers, a 9-8 loss, though, for the Crawdads. But on July 22nd, he faced these Mudcats, and he did get the L. He threw 2 innings, gave up the game-winning run. That was a 4-3 victory for the Mudcats here in Danville. So everything is ready. The lines look good today. The weather is nice. A cooler day at the ballpark. Button just getting done with his warm-ups. Crawdads lineup. Schmidt leading off. Corio, the second baseman, batting second. Left fielder Brome batting third. Tears, the designated hitter, batting cleanup. Joey Donnelly batting fifth. He's at first base. Cameron Calvillo, the shortstop, batting sixth. Andrew McKenna, the backstop. The catcher today, batting seventh. Joe Barnhart, the third baseman, batting eighth. And Casey Cummings in right field, batting ninth. We're going to see Button's first pitch this afternoon to Michael Benavidez. And this misses in and forces Benavidez to dance out of the way.
Game time temperature 82 degrees.
82 degrees here in Danville, California. And Button going to look to paint one outside as this is hit on the ground over on the left side, but foul. The count 1-1. Benavidez hitting .257, a home run, and 7 RBIs. His first home run of the season, his only home run of the season, happened here in Danville in that 4-3 victory for the Mudcats. He also robbed a home run in left. Pitch here, and that's in there on the outside corner for strike number two, rather. The count 1-2. So, real quick, want to clear something up. Donnelly originally was supposed to be at first base. Instead, it's Brian DeRoff. I'm wondering if having 2 inexperienced men on the corners is the reason that manager Brant Cummings decided to change things up, because originally, as this ball is fouled on the left side once again, originally it was supposed to be Barnhart at third and Donnelly over at first. They were the corners. But now it's Barnhart at third still, but Brian DeRoff at first. The 1-2 upcoming to Benavidez. McKenna setting up outside. And the 1-2 pitch, this misses high. The count 2-2. The defense for the Crawdads. McKenna behind the plate. DeRoff over at first. Tyson Corio at second. Joe Barnhart, the third baseman. Calvillo at short. Brome in left. Coleman Schmidt in center. And Casey Cummings in right. Setting up outside again is McKenna, the 2-2. And this is fought off. A good at-bat so far from Michael Benavidez. After Benavidez, it's Kenny DeSalle and Cole Santander. Sonoma in play tonight against Lincoln. Very important game. Crawdads will be paying attention to that. That game starts at 6:05, however. And here's a strikeout swinging, and Zach Button retires the first man he sees on a swinging strikeout slider. That was a beautiful pitch from Zach Button.
Batting second for Solano, the center fielder, number 28, Kenny DeSalle.
Oh, you do wonder how deep Button can go tonight, or this afternoon, rather. Game starting at 4:07. Last night's game, though, they got 2 great outings from a couple of pitchers. Antoine Valerio able to pitch 3 strong innings against Healdburg, only give up 2 runs, and then Gabe Tanner finishing the job, 6 scoreless innings, getting his 4th win. There's a big swing and a miss from Kenny DeSalle, who's hitting .298, 2 home runs, 29 RBIs. DeSalle did have a big grand slam against the Crawdads at Vanden High. The 0-1 pitch, and this is hit high in the air into left, but it'll hang up for the left fielder Brome, who jogs in and makes the catch for out number 2. So still scoreless here in the top of the first, and there's 2 away. Here comes Cole Santander, the catcher, hitting 259, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. A little bit of a different environment here as opposed to the one last night that the Crawdads found themselves in. Crowd was pretty rowdy, although they packed it in a bit early, right around the 7th inning when they were down big. Button misses inside. The count 1-0. Zach Button, the deepest he has gone in any appearance was on July 15th. He pitched 3 innings of 1-run ball against the Potters. Going to look to get at least 4 today. The 1-0 pitch, and this is hit hard past the shortstop who dives. Calvillo just couldn't get a glove on it, and it ends up in center field. That's a 2-out single for Cole Santander. Oh, here's Chase Hildy, the designated hitter.
Solano, the designated hitter, number 2.
Batting
Chase
an even 250
Hildy.
with 6 driven in. Crawdads today playing in the red jerseys with the white pants. Solano, not in the baby blues. Instead, the navy blue tops with the gray slacks. Runner off of first. Still 0-0. But Solano looking to jump out in front here early. The first pitch to Hildy misses away, and the count 1-0. Button has his sign from McKenna, and he fires. This just misses outside as well. That pitch closer than the first pitch, though, in this at-bat, and the count 2-0. So Button has gone 3 innings this season for his longest appearance. Valerio went 3 innings last night, the 2-0 pitch, and this is hit to the opposite field, deep to left field, and is that going to leave the park? It is going to fall just foul. And for a moment, it looked like that was going to hit the foul post down near the 325 sign in the left field corner, but luckily for Button and the Crawdads, it is just a strike, the count 2-1. Oh, even with Brome's wheels, if that does get down fair and say it does not hit the foul pole, probably score a run there, you would think, for Solano. However, not a ton of speed on first base for them, as that's Cole Santander, the catcher. Santander with a small lead, being held on by the first baseman, Duroff. The 2-1 pitch to Hildy, and he hits this on the ground over to the second baseman, Corio, who's up with it, throws over to first for out number 3. So a pretty uneventful inning there for Zach Button. Was able to collect a strikeout, did give up a single, but that was it. So it's still scoreless, 0-0. Bottom of the first coming up. The Crawdads are going to send 1, 2, and 3 to the plate. Schmidt, Corio, and Brome. Be right back with more Crawdads baseball when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Back here in Danville, California, bottom of the first. Zach Button able to keep Solano off the board in the top half of the inning. Did allow a hit, but that was it. Just faced one over the minimum. So good start so far for Zach Button. Anthony Galindo is going to be the pitcher today for the Solano Mudcats. Galindo is a 6'3 righty. He's 0-3 this summer with an ERA at 6. That is 6.00. This is his 8th appearance, 5th start. He does have 2 saves. He's thrown 24 innings, 13 strikeouts, 18 walks, 25 hits. So the whip high with him, going to let a lot of base runners on. However, in his last 2 appearances, the Mudcats were able to win, and he did get some good results. However, those were both against the West Coast Kings, so non-CCL competition. Against CCL competition, the Mudcats have not won a game that he has pitched in. Well, check that. He does have a couple of saves. He got the saves against the West Coast Kings, but yes, against CCL competition, as I'm looking at it, they have not won a game that he has pitched in. So maybe a little vulnerable out there is Galindo. We'll see. Here's Coleman Schmidt, who's leading off once again today after having a few looks deeper in the lineup. First pitch to Schmidt, misses low, and the count 1-0. Schmidt had been batting 4th. Last night he batted right at the start of the heart of the order, but he was 0 for 5 last night. However, he does have a home run this week and a walk-off double. The 1-0 pitch, and this misses low. The count 2-0 to Schmidt. Schmidt hitting .333, 10 home runs, 37 RBIs. Still a chance maybe for Schmidt to take that home run crown if he can get a few more big knocks here in the CCL before the season ends, and the count 3-0. So Schmidt ahead. And Galindo doesn't want to give in to Coleman Schmidt. However, if you walk Coleman Schmidt, he is always a threat to steal a bag on you. And the Crawdads look pretty engaged so far today, so we'll see what Coleman Schmidt does here on this pitch, and he takes it. Looked a little low, right around the knees, but called a strike. The count 3-1. Crawdads have found some new energy over the past couple of days. Seem to be very driven to get some good results. The 3-1 pitch to Schmidt, and this misses inside. And a 5-pitch walk issued to Coleman Schmidt. Well, that is one of the issues with Galindo. That is the 19th batter he has walked this season.
Second baseman number 13.
And now the speedy Coleman Schmidt over at first, and here comes Tyson Corio. On deck is Ryan Brome. Corio has just been on fire lately. Had a big home run and a triple last night. And the triple was hit farther and harder than the home run. The triple, though, was in dead center, got caught in the ivy as the first pitch in there for a strike. Count 0-1. But Holcroft put his hands up as that ball was kicking out around there in center field and acted like he wanted a ground rule double. He eventually was able to dig it out, and Corio just kept running. He ended up on third. Pitch here misses outside. The count 1-1 to Tyson Corio. But Corio has just been so good defensively all season, and offensively now the bat has really, really come alive. Schmidt off of first, the 1-1 pitch. Corio saw a pitch he liked there, not able to square it up. It's fouled into the fencing, and the count 1-2. Over the past 7 days, it is 6 games for Tyson Corio that he's played in. He's batting .400 with a home run and 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, and that triple last night. So he has just been stellar. Schmidt taking off for second. This pitch misses away, and Schmidt's going to have second base easily. The throw from Santander, not nearly in time, and it was a breaking ball that missed away. So Schmidt picked a good pitch to run on. And Coleman Schmidt, that's the thing you got to worry about with him. If he gets on base, he is always waiting for an opportunity to make a steal. That's 13 steals against CCL North opponents for Schmidt, and that's who you want to do the damage against. 15 overall, is now the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Really put more weight on those conference games than you do against, say, the West Coast Kings or the Bay Area Force, although, can't turn your nose up at the Force. Valerio pitched for them earlier this season and beat the Crawdads. The 3-2 pitch. That's right there on the outside black. Corio turns around to argue with home plate umpire Harvey Maxey and puts his hands out and saying, that was out. Corio's rung up. That ball was about a foot outside. And we can see it from our vantage point. But that is out number 1. And it looks like there was just a bit of a warning there momentarily over to the Crawdads dugout. So there's 1 away. It's 0-0 here in the bottom of the first. Coleman Schmidt in scoring position over at second. Here's Ryan Brome, who's hitting .372. 2 home runs, 33 driven in. Lefty Brome against the righty Galindo, and Brome hits this high but foul down the left field line. That'll land about 20 yards past the bullpen of the Mudcats. Count 0-1. Corio still in some disbelief about the call there. He definitely thought that was a walk. That would have been back-to-back walks issued by Anthony Galindo. He would have been at an even 20 on the season had that pitch not been called a strike on the very, very outside edge to Corio. Second pitch here to Brome, and he swings through a breaking ball in the count 0-2. Galindo not going to ramp things up. He does not throw that hard. And one of the problems that Crawdads hitters can have is hitting slower velocity pitching. That's why they've had such a tough time against off-speed pitches. And Schmidt very far off of second, and he forces Galindo to step off the rubber and turn around and fake a throw. With the lack of velo and authority on pitches from Galindo, it should be a heyday today for Crawdads base runners. The 0-2 pitch, this is hit hard on the ground over to Tasso Foster, the second baseman. It gets by him through his glove. That's in right field. Schmidt rounding third, and he's going to score on an error on the second baseman, Tasso Foster. That is a routine play that needs to be made with ordinary effort by Tasso Foster. He was not able to come up with it, and it's 1-0 Crawdads. So the Crawdads getting some breaks going their way early here today. The walk really comes back to hurt Galindo, and then the error ultimately costs them a run. So Ryan Brome now at first. The Crawdads lead 1-0 here at home in the bottom of the first with just 1 away. Coleman Schmidt so fast, as soon as he realized that ball was through, he took off. He was already headed for third, and when the ball got past Foster, the second baseman, he was headed for home. Here's Kavares Tears, powerful bat, and the first pitch to Tears misses high and outside. The count 1-0. The defense for Solano, Santander doing the catching, Telly Hill at first base, Tasso Foster, who just had the error over at second, Jaden Jones, the third baseman, Jared Wood at short, Benavidez in left. We know he can play a good left field here. DeSalle in center as the 1-0 misses outside. The count 2-0. And Noah Garcia is in right. That's the first game in the outfield for Garcia this season. And the reason he's in right is because Jackson Bates hurt his hand on the field in Lincoln yesterday. Now the count 2-0 to Tears, and Tears takes once again. Tears has just put together some great at-bats lately. The eye has been so good for Tears. I think last night may have been the best example of being very disciplined at the plate, waiting for a pitch that he can hit. He had a walk and a hit and a stolen base yesterday in Healdsburg, and he ropes this into center. That's going to bounce in front of the center fielder, DeSalle, and that'll be a base knock for Kavares Tears. Tears hit that ball on the screws. Tears had the green light. And it doesn't really matter what the count is when Kavares Tears is up there. Doesn't matter if it's 2-0, 3-0. He'll go after a pitch if he likes it. That was center cut, and Kavares Tears stayed middle with it. And he's over on first. The Crawdads now with 2 base runners. Tears on first. Moving up to second is Ryan Brome. Crawdads lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Here's Joey Donnelly. That's going to help the batting average of Tears as well, that hard hit ball. And check that. excuse me, it's not Donnelly. It is Brian DeRoff. There was a switch before the game began, and it was supposed to be Donnelly. It's actually DeRoff at first today. DeRoff had a monster home run yesterday, a 3-run homer in Healdsburg. And the 1-0 to DeRoff, and he hits this very hard, but it's caught on a line by the third baseman, Jones. Quick reactions out there at the hot corner by Jaden. DeRoff has been making very good contact lately, but that one speared by Jones. 2 away.
Batting 6 for Walnut Creek. The shortstop, number 15.
So DeRoff now
Calvillo.
0 for 1. And here comes Cameron Calvillo. Calvillo playing in his 5th game as a Crawdad. Had a big RBI single in the 8th last night. Pitch here to Calvillo, and this misses low. The count 1-0. Crawdads have already scored once. They have an error to thank for it. It is 1-0, but Crawdads would like to add some more here, even though there's 2 away. They do have a couple of base runners on, 1 in scoring position. That's Ryan Brome off of second. The 1-0 pitch to Calvillo. Calvillo gets into this and hits this into left field. That's going to get down. It is there, and holding Brome is third base coach John Jensen. So the bases are loaded. That ball not hit deep enough to score Brome, and Benavidez did a good job in left to get the ball back in. So with 2 away, the bases are loaded. The Crawdads have a chance to extend their 1-0 lead. Coming into that at-bat, Calvillo is hitting .214. And here's Andrew McKenna, the catcher, who's batting .190 with 7 RBIs. But the bases are loaded. McKenna could put one down the right field line if he pulls it. This pitch misses high, the count 1-0, but that's going to require Galindo to throw a strike to McKenna. Runners have their leads, not being held on. The 1-0 pitch, and McKenna tries to turn on one on the inner half, but fouls it down the first base line. The count 1-1. McKenna's defense has been his hallmark all season for the Crawdads. He came about halfway through the season, and at the time, the Crawdads really needed a stopper back there, but the level of play has really elevated since McKenna's come here. The 1-1 pitch, and McKenna takes inside. That's called a strike. The count 1-2. The zone a little bit wide today, and the Crawdads hitters are going to have to deal with it. McKenna crowding the plate. Lefty waving the bat right now. The righty Galindo deals, and this is a slider that misses far outside, and the count 2-2. Crawdads fell behind early last night, but it wasn't because Valerio had a bad night on the mound. He was excellent, and the offense was able to come alive. Brian DeRoff with that big 3-run homer really got the party started. The 2-2 pitch, and McKenna jams one off the end of the bat. Is that going to land in left field? And it will. It gets down. It's out of the glove of Jaden Jones. And a couple of runs score for the Crawdads. Jones had that in the glove, and it dropped out. That's an error on Jones. Just a little bloop there down the left field line, and Jaden Jones couldn't put the squeeze on it. So with 2 outs, Crawdads got a little magic, and it's now 3-0. Runners at the corners, Brome and Tiers both scoring. First pitch to Barnhart. Down. Barnhart hitting .170, a home run. Just 2 RBIs. He's at third this afternoon. Not a lot of experience at third this summer for Barnhart. He hits this hard on the ground, though, over to the shortstop Wood, who has it, and flips on to second for the easy out. Solano finally able to get out of the first, but not before the Crawdads put 3 runs up on them through just 1 inning of play. It is 3-0. Top of the second coming up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the second inning, Alon Say here with you. Crawdads out in front 3-0 in Danville, California. At home today are the Crawdads against the Solano Mudcats. It is Jared Wood leading off, still Button on the mound. First pitch from Button here is a slider that hits the zone. The count 0-1. It's Wood, Garcia, then Jones. Wood hitting .229, 13 RBIs. He's the shortstop today for Solano. And the 0-1 pitch from Button. This bounces up to McKenna. And the count even, a ball and a strike. Crawdads able to jump out early here. Button going to try to throw a shutdown inning as this is fouled away. And the count 1-2. That's something that the Crawdads got out of Gabe Tanner last night. He was excellent, pitching 6 shutout innings out of the bullpen. His best appearance as a Crawdad the last 2 years. And you'd have to ask him, but maybe his best appearance as a college pitcher. The 1-2 pitch, and this is fouled away. The count stays 1-2. Blessed with some cooler weather today are the players. Been used to seeing this Crawdads team out here in Monte Vista when it's right around 100 degrees. The 1-2 pitch, and this misses in. The count 2-2. Now the first inning of work for Button, he threw 15 pitches. That's a pretty good number to be at. And the 2-2 misses away. So the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Button did get a strikeout in the first. He struck out Michael Benavidez. Has a chance here to strike out Jared Wood. Button kicks, deals, and there's a slider that's hit on the ground. Takes a couple of hops. In front of it is Corio, has it, throws on to first to get the speedy Jared Wood for out number 1. 3-0 top of the second, and Noah Garcia coming up with 1 away.
Number 23, Noah Garcia.
So far, Button has thrown 14 strikes to 8 balls. Still early here. But if he can stay right around 30 pitches through 2 innings of work, that is a good sign for Zach. Probably means he'll be pretty fresh for the third, but it has to get through Garcia, who's hitting .278, 11 RBIs, and the first pitch misses high. The count 1-0. Seen Garcia do a little bit of everything against the Crawdads. Seen him play first base. Today he's in right for the first time this season. We've also seen Garcia pitch. The 1-0, and this is lined hard over to Duroff, who blocks it with his body, able to pick it up, and then beat Garcia to the bag, and Eric Thompson makes the out call. That was an all-out sprint between Duroff, the first baseman, who first had to be a hockey goalie there and block it with the body, and then beat Noah Garcia to the first base bag, and he does. There are 2 outs, and the Crawdads doing a good job here, getting a couple of quickies for their pitcher, Zach Button. Sometimes when you have to use the body to block a ball, that can have some painful effects on you, but it looks like Duroff's okay. Pretty strong guy, a lot of muscles on Brian Duroff, so he's able to wear it. Count 1-0 to Jaden Jones, and Jones hits this off the inside portion of the bat, but it is high in right field and caught by Casey Cummings. A pretty good second inning of work for Zach Button. He was able to finish his second frame of work and stay under 30 pitches, so 15 pitches in the first inning and just 11 in the second. So Button looking pretty good in his first start of the season for the Crawdads, who lead 3-0. Bottom of the second coming up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Casey Cummings.
Casey Cummings going to lead off the bottom of the second. It's 9-1-2 for the Crawdads. Cummings, Schmidt, and Corio. Casey Cummings hitting .185, 3 RBIs, but he's been very good defensively out in right. First pitch here to Cummings, misses low and in, and Cummings has gotten a lot of extended playing time over the second half of the season. The count is 1-0 to the Crawdads right fielder. 1-0 pitch is hammered down the left field line, past the diving third baseman Jaden Jones, and is that going to be a double for Cummings? He slides in safely to second. The throw was cut off from Benavidez. It was cut off by Wood. So Cummings able to line a ball right down the foul fair line there, and it got all the way up into the corner area. And Cummings, that's one thing he definitely has in spades, is speed. He showed it off there. That's a leadoff double for the Crawdads, who lead 3-0. Oh, here's Coleman Schmidt, who's leading off today. His normal spot in the batting order, except for a couple of days recently where he's batted fourth. Schmidt did walk in the first. Came around to score, and Galindo, maybe a little spooked there by Casey Cummings off of second. He's already had Schmidt steal a base on him. And Galindo fires to Schmidt, who raises the hands, and that's a strike. Count 0-1. Schmidt has cooled off a bit recently, but of course you are going to cool off when you were hitting above 400 for the first half of the season, as this ball misses outside and gets away from the catcher Santander, and Cummings makes it up to third. A wild pitch there from Galindo. Count 1-1, and the Crawdads 90 feet closer to putting up run number 4. They lead 3-0. They don't want to take any chances with the Mudcats, who have seemed to play them very tough this season. Cummings, a small lead off of third. Schmidt just needs to put the bat on the ball. This pitch misses low and outside. This time, though, nabbed by Santander, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Over the past week, Schmidt is hitting below 300, down at 267. But he does have a home run and 5 RBIs. And this is foul tipped into the mitt of Santander, and the count now even, 2-2. Well, Schmidt has so much power. We've seen it all season. That's why he has 10 home runs. Last time we were here at Danville in Monte Vista, Schmidt hit a big home run to get the Crawdads on the board. It was 5-0 in that game. Schmidt was able to break the scoring open for Walnut Creek, and this pitch misses low and outside, but blocked by Santander, and the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Schmidt ended up having the walk-off hit in that game as well. Sonoma Stompers, they let that game go, and the Crawdads very thankful that they did. That started a winning streak. That streak now up to 2, trying to extend it to 3 this afternoon. The 3-2 pitch to Schmidt. This misses outside. That's Schmidt's second walk of the afternoon. Well, runners on the corners with nobody out, 3-0 Crawdads. And here comes Tyson Corio, who has been the second best hitter on the Crawdads, only to Ryan Ellis, who is not in the lineup this afternoon over the past 6 games. Corio looking to make up for striking out in his first at-bat, although he was rung up on a pretty liberal strike call outside. He went down looking. First pitch to Corio misses high, and the count 1-0. Galindo not throwing a whole lot of strikes so far in this start. 17 strikes to 21 balls. Came into this game with an ERA at 6. That has jumped. And Schmidt going to take off for second. Is he in safely at second? He is. He just beats the tag of the shortstop, Jared Wood. It was a decent throw from Santander. But now the Crawdads, who have been aggressive this afternoon, and now with 3 stolen bases, 2 owned by Coleman Schmidt. As Coleman Schmidt's 14th stolen base in conference play. Pitch misses as well. Oh, 3 straight misses from Galindo. And that ball count is getting high. Pitch number 40 was a ball. So now 23 balls to 17 strikes. Galindo trying to find the zone here against Corio, who would take a walk. This pitch, Corio has the green light on 3-0, similar to Kavara's Tears, who singled up the middle in that same count back in the first. But this is fouled away, and the count 3-1. I'm not sure what has happened over the past, say, 3 or 4 days, but this Crawdads team looks rejuvenated. The 3-1 pitch, and that misses in. The bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks rendered by Galindo out on the mound. And now with nobody out, you have to deal with Ryan Brome, who, even though he hit the ball, it was an error on Tasso Foster, but he still reached base. You know Brome is going to put the baseball to the bat, rather the other way around, the bat on the baseball. You know Brome is not going to really strike out. In fact, yesterday was the first time that he had multiple strikeouts since the very first game of the season for the Crawdads. So we know what Brome is all about. It's about production at the plate, making the pitcher work, and Galindo has really pitched himself into a jam here. Pitch to Brome with the bases occupied, and this misses outside, and the Crawdads will lead 3-0. Brome doesn't mind walking in a run. He doesn't mind seeing 4 pitches outside the zone at all. Mudcats playing for 2 here as Brome hits this hard on the ground over to the second baseman, Foster, who fires a second for 1. The relay from Wood, and it's out of the glove of Telly Hill, and another run will score. So 2 runs cross the plate. It is now 5-0. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Hill. Brome has reached base twice now. And both by way of errors against Solano. So one on Tasso Foster, who looked like he was about to start a 4-6-3 double play sequence, but the ball dropped by Telly Hill, who made a stretch over at first. Brome's now at first. The Solano Mudcats only able to get 1 out, and it's 5-0 Crawdads. Second error of the day for the Mudcats. Here's 1 for 1, and the lefty takes. That's a strike. The count 0-1. Tears getting his second at-bat awfully early this afternoon. This pitch, looking for that outside location once again, was Galindo, but it missed low, and the count 1-1. Brome on first. He's 2 for 2 with regards into hitting balls that result in errors. As the count 2-1 here to Guevara's Tears. Tears, a designated hitter this afternoon. He's been doing that almost exclusively. 2-1 pitch, and this misses in. The count 3-1, really sharing those responsibilities with Joey Donnelly, as well as Joe Barnhart occasionally. But I think Tears, it's a tough job to just be a hitter, and he does it pretty well. The 3-1 pitch to Cavarez, and he rips this one down the right field line. That's going to kick up against the fencing. That's going to at least be 2 for Cavarez. Being dug out now by Garcia, the right fielder. And the Crawdads are going to have runners on second and third. Brome moves up to third. Cavarez Tears now 2 for 2 with a double. It's 5-0 Crawdads, and they have a chance for more with 2 runners in scoring position. The Crawdads aggressive here early in this ball game. And it looks like there's a pinch hitter. Being informed here by our PA announcer, Andy McDonald, that Jack Ben Shoshan is up for Brian DeRoff. So a couple of switches now already with that 5 spot. Right before game time, Joey Donnelly was removed for Brian DeRoff, and now Brian DeRoff is out, and it's Jack Ben Shoshan. I wonder if the ball that was body blocked by Brian DeRoff is the reason that he's out. Maybe the abdominal muscles maybe tightening up a little bit for Brian. Jack Ben Shoshan going to have a chance to drive in a couple of runs with 1 away here. 2 runners on. Tears at second with the double. He's now 2 for 2. So 2 switches in that 5 spot now. Brian DeRoff had an at-bat lined out to the third baseman Jones. And now Jack Ben Shoshan going to get his first opportunity. Galindo fires. Ben Shoshan goes after the first pitch, hits it high into right field, the opposite field, and that's going to be deep enough to score another run for the Crawdads. It is now 6-0. A good fly ball there from Jack Ben Shoshan. And he collects his 9th RBI of the summer for the Crawdads. So Ben Sho with a sac fly doing his job. Driving home Ryan Brome. Tears also able to advance to third on the play. And here's Cameron Calvillo, who's 1 for 1 with a single. A lot of scoring here so far by the Crawdads. 6 runs, and we're just in the second inning. Calvillo hits this hard over Jaden Jones, who had it drop out of the glove momentarily, but was able to make a good, strong throw to get Calvillo over at first. Had to wait on that play for a moment because it looked like Jones was going to spear it, and it just popped out, but Jones with a strong arm and the momentum already carrying him across the diamond was able to whip it over there and get Calvillo for the third out, but the Crawdads able to hang a couple of crooked numbers here early through the first 2 innings, 3 in the first, now 3 in the second. It is 6-0 Crawdads against Solano in a game that the Crawdads need here. Top of the third, we come back.
Batting 9 for Solano, the second baseman, number 6, Tasso Foster. Left fielder, Michael Benavides.
Apologize for that, folks. Think we fixed the audio issue, but the bases are loaded. You've seen it all happen. Zach Button, the deepest he's gone in any appearance this summer for the Crawdads with 3 innings. And before loading the bases here, he had only had to deal with 1 base runner that was all the way back in the first. So some hot water that Zach Button finds himself in here. Benavidez still 0 for 1 after walking. And here's Kenny DeSell, who's 0 for 1, but we know he can do damage with the bat. DeSell goes after the first pitch. He was definitely trying to hit a grand slam there. He's done it before to the Crawdads, but he fouls this away. The count 0-1 to the center fielder, DeSell. Crawdads, who lead 6-0, would trade an out or 2 for a run, I'm sure. Hill at third, Foster at second, Benavidez over at first. The corner's about midway on the dirt. Middle infielders playing for the double play. The 0-1 pitch, and this misses, but a good job by McKenna to make sure it doesn't get by him. And the count 1-1. Also want to inform everybody that Ryan Brome is now over at first. He started the game in left. Jack Ben Shoshon is now in left field. After pinch hitting for Duroff, and the 1-1 pitch misses, the count 2-1. Some relatively easy innings for Zach Button early. He's about to throw pitch number 40 here. The 2-1 pitch, and there's a slider that hits the zone, starts in, and then drifts back over the plate. The count 2-2. So Button has now thrown 21 strikes to 19 balls. 15 pitches in the first, 11 in the second. He's thrown 14 here in the top of the third. Bases are loaded. 2-2 pitch, and this is a slider that misses and gets behind McKenna. Tally Hill going to come home to score from third, and it's now 6-1. So wild pitch there from Zach Button. And the Mudcats are on the board. Do know that Colson Abel is available today out of the bullpen for the Crawdads, as well as Ryan Fleming, who says he's good to go today. Pitch to DeSell, and it needs to be a strike, and instead it's a huge pop-up, a major league pop-up on the infield grass. Who's coming in to get it? It's the second baseman, Tyson Corio, calling off Ryan Brome, who came in from first, and that's the first out. 2 runners still on at second and third. But a good job by Zach Button to induce a big pop-up from Kenny DeSell and a full count. Oh, here comes Cole Santander, who up until this inning for the Mudcats had the only hit for Solano. He's 1 for 1. And the pitch, this just misses, possibly a bit high. Looked like it was about belt high, but called a ball. The count 1-0. Button has to get through this inning. The 1-0 pitch, and this misses low. Fastball. The count 2-0. Benavidez over at second, Foster at third. 1 run has scored for Solano this half inning. 2-0 pitch. That's over the heart of the plate, but called a ball. The count 3-0. Button has missed about belt high a few times here, and they've both been called balls. He's going to have to lower the ball a bit. 3-0 pitch from Button to Santander, and this is roped into center. Charging in is the center fielder Schmidt, and it bounces in front of him, and that'll score 1. Will 2 be plated? The relay home. It is not in time, And it is now 6-3, and with the wild throw back to McKenna, advancing over to second is Cole Santander. Oh, it is now 6-3, Crawdads lead, but Zach Button getting touched up here in the top of the third. 3 runs have scored for Solano.
Chase Hildy.
2 RBIs there for Cole Santander. With those 2 RBIs, he's now up at 19, 1 shy of 20. Nice number to have in a summer of CCL play. Crawdads have quite a few members on their team with 20 or more RBIs. And this pitch is chopped, foul. Count 0-1 to Chase Hildy, who's 0 for 1, bounced out 4-3 in the first. With just 1 away, there's still a runner in scoring position for the Mudcats. It was 6-0. Now it is 6-3 here in the top of the third. Manager Brant Cummings does have a little bit of stirring going on in his bullpen, but no real warming up going on just yet. Button has to get through this inning. This is his inning unless the wheels completely fall off. The 0-1 pitch, and this is fouled. And the count 0-2. Crawdads had great pitching performances yesterday against Healdsburg. Button was solid through the first 2, but having a rough go of things here in the top of the third. The 0-2 pitch, and this is just fought off at the plate. Count stays 0-2. So staying alive is Chase Hildy, the designated hitter. On deck, Jared Wood. Been a laborious top of the third for Zach Button on the mound. Looking back to second is Button. Now he fires and misses high and away, and the count 1-2. This was the question about Button. What is the stamina like? He's had to throw a good amount of pitches here. 1 pitch away from 50. He's sitting at 49. Good thing for Button. He's thrown more strikes than balls, but only by 3. The 1-2 pitch, and this misses low. McKenna smothers it, and the count 2-2. So Button now up at 50 pitches. He's thrown 24 this half inning after just 26 in the first 2 frames of work. McKenna, I think, has to help his guy out here. Block anything in the dirt like he has been doing. Wild pitch has scored a run already, though. And the 2-2. This is hit right back up the middle to Button, who now has the runner at second, caught a rundown. And now it's going to be a pickle. Tossing back over to the third baseman, Barnhart, is Corio, and they're able to get the lead runner, Cole Santander. However, Chase Hildy does advance over to second base on the play. But a good job, good thought there from Button. We've seen that executed a few times here this season, and now there's going to be a review about whether Santander should be safe at third. As it stands now, Hildy's over at second, Santander's at third. So what's being discussed right now is whether Calvillo interfered with the runner Santander, and it looks like they're going to stick with the call on the field. Santander is walking off. There are now 2 away. Did look like Calvillo bumped into Santander while he was caught in a pickle there. So with 2 away, Chase Hildy on second. It's 6-3 Crawdads. Crawdads dodging a bullet there because Calvillo did make contact with Santander. So here is Jared Wood, who's 0 for 1. Pitch to Wood, misses, but not by much. Just missed outside in the count 1-0. Button 1 out away from getting through his third inning of work. It's been a slow top of the third. Not much rhythm to it. The 1-0 to Wood, and he swings through a good rising fastball there. Count 1-1. I think the fastball has been there today for Zach Button, and he can ramp it up. The 1-1 pitch, we'll see if he goes back to the fastball. This is hit very high, about 150 feet high into left field, and it's caught by the left fielder Jack Ben-Shoshan. So a high fly ball, but Ben-Sho had it all the way for out number 3. So a good job by Zach Button to get out of the top of the third. However, the Crawdads do surrender 3 runs, one of them scoring on a wild pitch. It is 6-3 Crawdads. Bottom of the third coming up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Six-3 Crawdads lead right now. First pitch to McKenna misses low. Galindo still out there for Solano. It is McKenna, Barnhart, and Cummings, bottom third of the order. 7, 8, and 9. Here in the bottom of the third as McKenna takes a big rip. Foul tips this back into Santander's mitt. Count 1-1. Zach Button, you would think, just finished his last inning of work as this is fouled away. The count 1-2. Did have 3 runs score on his watch, however, in the top of the third. Crawdads, though, have put up crooked numbers in the first and the second, scoring 3 in each of those innings. And with the lead at 3 now, they'd like to add more. The 1-2 pitch, this misses and hits the backstop. That was a breaking ball that started out and stayed out. Count now even at 2-2. McKenna reached base on a single, little blooper into left field. As this pitch misses in, originally had that scored as an error. The count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, but had that ruled as an error on Wood, but it was a tough play. Ultimately, it was officially scored a hit. Payoff pitch to McKenna, and he hits this to left field off the end of the bat. Running back is the left fielder Benavidez, who makes the catch about 10 feet in front of the warning track. Good job keeping a good eye on the ball there from Benavidez, and we know it is tough to play left field here at Monte Vista because left field is sloped downwards, so it's hard to see what's going on at the plate. You get a really late read on the ball and how it's hit off the bat. But Benavidez, we know what he can do in left field here in Danville, California. Oh, here's Barnhart. And Barnhart, the third baseman, takes for a strike. Count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, and Barnhart takes a slider in for a ball. The count 1-1. Barnhart looking for his first hit today. Looking to increase that batting average as well. Not a lot of time to do that, though. Time is running out on the season. Just hitting at 170 coming into this ball game, and this pitch misses away. The count 2-1. But with the way Galindo's throwing, you can at least get the OBP up. Galindo has walked 3 batters so far. And the 2-1 to Barnhart. Here it is, Barnhart, a laser over the leaping Tasso Foster at second base, and Barnhart has a single. The throwback in from Garcia ends up at second, but Barnhart was staying parked at first all the way. So 1 out hit for Joe Barnhart. Hit that ball extremely hard. Had a lot of exit velo off of the bat. And Foster couldn't get high enough to snare it. So here's Casey Cummings, who has a double today. He's 1 for 1. Barnhart now 1 for 2. It is 6-3 here in the bottom of the third. Pickoff move from Galindo over to Hill, trying to get Barnhart sleeping off of first. They do not, though, and Barnhart's back safely. Pitch to Casey Cummings is a breaking ball that's called a strike. The count 0-1. Pitch here hits Casey Cummings. Galindo has really lost any semblance of control that he maybe had earlier in the ball game. And Cummings still 1 for 1, but now hit by a pitch here. Now that is better for Galindo than giving up another double, another hit for extra bases to Casey Cummings. And here's Coleman Schmidt, who has walked twice today, has a chance with a couple of runners on. Barnhart over at second. Coleman Schmidt has been very selective today. However, that hasn't been that hard to do against Anthony Galindo. Tony Galindo looks back and fires, and then he drills Schmidt. Nothing Schmidt could do there. Had to turn the shoulder, and he's now at first. Here's the pitching coach, Carr, for Solano, and there is some warming up going on in the bullpen of the Mudcats, and we'll see if Coach Carr takes the ball from Galindo. But as it stands now, it's 6-3 Crawdads with 1 away. The bases are loaded. Barnhart over at third. Casey Cummings at second. And Schmidt, who has walked twice and now been hit by a pitch, is over at first. And for Galindo, that is the second player in a row that he has hit. Crawdads don't enjoy getting hit. No ball player really does. Well, you can make a living in the big leagues doing that as well. But Coleman Schmidt, if he does have aspirations of going to the next level, is going to be doing it with the baseball bat, not wearing pitches on the shoulders and the back. So here comes Tyson Corio, who's 0 for 1, and he walked in the second. His strikeout looking in the first was a tough call on the outside portion of the plate. The switch hitting Corio batting lefty, a side that he hit his home run from last night in Healdsburg. Also had a big triple. Pitch here from Galindo, misses low and in. The count 1-0. Galindo has thrown 36 balls to just 29 strikes, so he has been erratic. Corio awaiting the 1-0, and this called a strike. That is the same exact spot that Corio struck out on in his first at-bat in the first. That pitch just finding the outside corner. And the count 1-1. The pitch, and this misses low and in. It gets away from Santander momentarily, but not far enough away to score the runner from third, Joe Barnhart. And Santander, hearing now, is out of the game, and that is actually Trey Topping at catcher. So we've had a lot of funky changes so far. And the 2-1 pitch gives a close brush to Corio, who's able to bend out of the way. The count 3 balls and a strike. So first Donnelly was supposed to be in the game for the Crawdads, then it was Duroff. Now Duroff's out of the game after having a ground ball hit him in the upper body, right around the stomach area. And Santander was the starting catcher. Now it's Trey Topping for Solano as this pitch misses in. And that is a walk, so another run will score for the Crawdads. They have now scored in every inning this game. It is 7-3.
13, Trey Topping, and batting for your
Galindo has just walked in a run. After hitting Cummings and Schmidt, he walks Tyson Corio, and that brings Joe Barnhart home. This inning started with a fly out to left from McKenna, and Barnhart hit a laser into right center over the leaping second baseman, Tasso Foster. And now a run has been walked in. The first pitch to Brome misses low and in, and the count 1-0. Corio just drew his second walk of the ball game, the 1-0 pitch, and this misses in. Look out, Ryan Brome having to do a shimmy. The count 2-0. There's still just one out, and the bases are loaded. Brome takes here low, and the count 3-0. So Galindo is staying out there. The pitching coach, Jared Carr, came out to talk to Galindo, but he's still in. The 3-0 pitch, that's right down Broadway, and the count 3-1. Taking all the way there was Ryan Brome. Cummings at third, Schmidt at second, Corio at first. Payoff pitch, not the situation yet, as this pitch misses in. So Galindo has walked in back-to-back runs now.
Now batting for the Crawdads.
So Brome, I think, was going to take all the way in a 3-1 count, and I was expecting Galindo to just fire in a get-me-over fastball, and instead he misses his location in. Brome's now over at first. Coming home to score is Casey Cummings. It is now 8-3, and you just wonder how long Galindo's going to stay out there. We've seen the pitching coach go out. When is he going to be relieved here? There's still some warm-ups going on here in the bullpen of the Mudcats. So here's Kavara's Tears. And the first pitch to Tears, he skies this high into right field, but shallow right field. It's going to be taken by Noah Garcia, not deep enough to score a run. So Coleman Schmidt still at third. Tyson Corio still at second, and Brome still at first. And it's still 8-3 now with 2 away. Oh, I guess the thought process here from Ben Crombie is to keep Galindo out there for all 3 innings, similar to Zach Button, who stayed out for 3 innings, but Galindo is getting beat up, and most of it due to his own misfires, and he misfires here. Another ball, the count 1-0 to Jack Ben Shoshan. Topping doing a good job of blocking that, but the wheels have come off. The train is off the tracks right now for Solano. Here is a slow pitch. Can't tell if that was an off-speed pitch or a lazy breaking ball there, and the count 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, bases loaded, 8-3, 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Jack Ben Shoshan with a chance for more. This pitch is hit on the screws, but right into the glove of the second baseman, Tasso Foster, for out number 3. But the Crawdads able to score 2 more runs. It is now 8-3, both runs being walked in by Anthony Galindo. So you would think his day is over. Top of the 4th coming up. It's 8-3 Crawdads. They are in front, and Austin Oda is going to have the play-by-play for you here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Right fielder number 23, Noah Garcia.
Welcome back to the DVB Insurance Broadcast Booth. Austin Oda here on the call. The Crawdads leading 8-3. Noah Garcia steps in the left-handed batter's box and takes the first pitch of the top of the 4th inning outside, ball 1. Garcia, big left-handed hitter, hit the ball hard past first base his last time up. 1-0. Button delivers. Garcia takes just outside with a hard fastball. 1-1. Excuse me, 2-0. 2-0. Garcia takes outside again, ball 3. So, not the start that you wanted for Zach Button, as he throws 3 straight balls to begin the count to Noah Garcia. Button delivers, and Garcia takes right down the middle with a fastball, 3-1. The 3-1. Garcia takes ball 4 way outside, and a leadoff walk for Solano. So, not the start to the inning that Zach Button wanted.
Third baseman Jaden Jones.
3-1 and a walk to Noah Garcia, and it'll bring up third baseman Jaden Jones, a very talented player over in Solano who just seems to destroy the Crawdads. First pitch is right down the middle with a fastball, 0-1. The middle infield double play depth, trying to get 2 for Button as he fires the 0-1, and it's down low, a fastball. 1-1. Solano came into this game needing a win. They're a game back of the Crawdads for for third place. But so far today, they have not looked like a team that is hungry, looking to win. The 1-1. Jones takes down and away, 2-1. Solano lost 19-9 last night in Lincoln, and it was a game that the Potters were up 14-0, and really considering that, Solano made it a little interesting. They were able to bring 9 runs across to bring it to 15-9, but then Solano had to put Noah Garcia in, a position player, as Button's 2-1 is down low, ball 3.
This game really hasn't had much rhythm to it, Austin.
No rhythm at all. So it's been a weird game. There's been so many weird changes in the lineup, so many just funky things happening. The 3-1, and Garcia takes up high, ball 4. Excuse me, that's Jones. So 2 straight walks to start the inning. This is not what Zach Button wanted.
A lot of walks, and now making a walk is manager Brant Cummings out to the mound.
No one warming up yet in the Crawdads bullpen. I know Ryan Fleming is available, and he'd likely go multiple innings out of the bullpen.
Colson Abel available as well. He hasn't pitched in a little bit.
Really, the good news for the Crawdads, past just the dominance that was yesterday's win at Healdsburg, is they have a fresh bullpen after just 2 pitchers were used yesterday against Healdsburg.
Valerio and Tanner, they did a great job. And Gabe Tanner with his 6 shutout innings. I mean, that was just incredible to watch, his best performance. And I think the Crawdads want to get the same today, at least 4 innings out of Zach Button, but that might be tough because the control's kind of slipping away from him.
Button 2 straight walks.
First baseman Telly Hill.
However, those were the first 2 he had given up today. He's given up 3 runs, 3 hits, just 1 strikeout. It'll bring up the big Telly Hill. Hill led off the last inning with a double. He's 1 for 1. Also scored a run. First pitch up and away, 1-0. We'll see who comes in for Anthony Galindo next inning. It is more than likely that he does not stay in the game. 1-0 to Hill. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch on the outside, and it's 1-1.
I know the pitching staff is pretty thin for Solano, but it's just hard to believe that it's so depleted that you have to leave Galindo out there who walked 2 runners in.
1-1 to Hill. Button delivers outside, 2-1. You have to give it to this Solano Mudcats team. They continue to fight. They all want to be here. And even down 5, they're having fun. 2 runners on, 2 straight walks to lead off the inning. Zach Button trying to get out of a jam. 2-1 to the big lefty, Telly Hill. Button throws, and it's fouled off the glove of McKenna. 2-2. This game feels like it's somewhat out of reach. It's an 8-3 ball game. The Crawdads have had much better at-bats than the Mudcats, but it's a 5-run ball game. There's 2 runners on. Were Telly Hill to hit one out here, it would be a 2-run game.
And nobody out, so Zach Button has to at least get 1 out here, you would think. Now some warm-ups going on in the bullpen for the Crawdads.
The 2-2 from Button. High pop-up, back behind short. Coming in hard is Schmidt, but it's going to be Ben Shoshan, the left fielder, who makes the play just about 15 feet from the infield dirt. I think the shortstop, Calvillo, thought it was deeper than it was. He looked like he gave up on the play, was going to be a cutoff man for a potential cutoff attempt, but I was maybe his ball. He maybe had the best shot at getting that ball.
He was closest, and he just misgauged it a bit off the bat.
Here's Tasso Foster, who was hit by a pitch his last time up, yet to receive an official at-bat. Button's first pitch is up high, ball 1.
Well, if the Crawdads can get through this top of the 4th without having to insert Ryan Fleming, and they can rely on Button to get through here without giving up any runs, that is a huge win for this ball club.
The 1-0. Up high, ball 2.
Although it can kind of spoil you when you get a performance like you did yesterday where you only have to use 2 men on the mound.
2-0 to Tasso Foster, the second baseman. Button deals. Foster takes up high, ball 3.
And for Button, I think that the gas tank, if it's not empty already. It's very close to empty. I think he's running on fumes right now. 34 strikes to 38 balls, so 72 pitches here.
He's a guy that did provide innings for slow as the 3-0 is outside and high. Ball 4. 3 walks, bases are loaded. But like I was saying, he is a guy that threw a lot of innings for slow this season, but his day is likely going to be over. Ryan Fleming coming out from the bullpen, manager Cummings coming out from the dugout. Zach Button's day is done, bases loaded, 1 out. Michael Benavides coming to the plate, and we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 4th inning here in Danville, California. The new pitcher for Walnut Creek is the big righty Ryan Fleming, who has had a tremendous season on the mound. He has been a superstar, as I called him the other day when he came out of the bullpen against Sonoma. He has just been outstanding.
He has been unhittable at times when he has his breaking ball working and locate the fastball. He's just so tough to deal with as a hitter. Unfortunately for Fleming, he has to come in with the bases loaded and just 1 away. And even though it's an 8-3 ball game, he has to deal with Michael Benavides, who has gone yard in this ballpark before. And now it looks like home plate umpire Harvey Maxey is signaling to cut the music.
Well, Harvey Maxey not happy with Daniel Rainey. Daniel, you do a great job. Here's Ryan Fleming on the mound for his 9th appearance of the summer. First pitch to Michael Benavides. Big slurve, swung on and missed. That's what Ryan Fleming's going to do for you. He is fastball slurve frequently. He throws a changeup semi-frequently. He'll mostly go to that pitch to lefties. So far this summer, Fleming 3-1 with a 3.93 ERA. He has a save. He has 37 strikeouts in 34 innings as he fires a slider that misses down and away, 1-1.
The slurve is such a good weapon in the arsenal for Fleming, and that's the pitch that really sets him apart. He doesn't have to always rely on his fastball. He can use the breaking ball to really fool hitters.
1-1 to Benavides. Fleming deals. Benavides takes inside. 2-1. 8-3 the score, but Solano is threatening. It's bases loaded with just 1 out, and Ryan Fleming facing his first batter of the day, inheriting a very tough situation. Two 1 misses. Oh no, called strike 2 on the upper edge. Excuse me. My bad.
The late call there. Oh, it looked pretty good. Like it just nabbed the zone, and it's a bit of a late call there from Harvey Maxey.
The 2-2. Benavides strikes out swinging. Got him fishing with the slurve. And a nice start for number 12, Ryan Fleming.
And I can't talk enough about the slurve. Out of all the pitchers who are still on the roster for the Crawdads, I mean, in terms of prettiest breaking ball, you have to put Fleming at number 1. Colson Abel, when he's on with that curveball that he has, when he's really feeling it, that is a great pitch, but Fleming just so consistent and always seems to be able to locate his slurve.
Here's the guy that does a lot of damage with the bases loaded. Kenny DeSalle swings through a slurve on the first pitch. Strike 1, 0-1. He was well out in front of the big breaker, and Fleming gets ahead.
Hard to do damage when Fleming is just spinning the ball so well up there.
DeSalle 0 for 2 today. The 0-1. High drive, deep left center. Schmidt going back at the track. He settles down under it and makes the catch. DeSalle gave it a ride. Almost his second Grand Slam this summer against the Crawdads. And Fleming escapes with no damage done. Bottom 4 when we come back. 8-3 the score. The Crawdads lead here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Hey, they're playing the German polka.
Bottom of the 4th inning here in Danville, California. Ryan Fleming came out and really just pitched very well against 2 of the tougher hitters in the Solano lineup to escape a base-loaded jam. And the Mudcats will bring out Colin Medeiros, the big righty. First pitch against Cam Calvillo is a slider that misses inside. Funky right-hander is Colin Medeiros out of Santa Rosa JC. He's been very reliable this year, one of the most reliable arms out of the Solano bullpen, as the 1-0 is fouled off back to the right. 1-1. Medeiros this summer, 0-1 record, does have 2 saves, a 4.64 ERA, 15 Ks to 7 walks in 21 1/3 innings, 10 appearances. The 1-1. Calvillo grounds it to third base, just foul.
Seems like when Cam Calvillo connects with the ball, it doesn't really matter where it's going. It's hit. It's hit with some authority.
Calvillo's a good player.
He's been outstanding for the Crawdads, and what a nice addition at the end of the season for a team that was kind of reeling.
The 1-2. Calvillo takes up and in, 2-2.
I mean, where does manager Cummings find these guys? They're growing on trees, good ball players? I don't think so.
Yeah, I have no idea how it happens, but it's happening, and Calvillo is really good. The 2-2. He swings and misses, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. But he's proven enough this summer in just the short action, the 5 games he's been here. Goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Definitely a different look up there on the mound as opposed to Galindo. Little better movement on the stuff here from Medeiros, as well as I think some increased velocity. Galindo is not sending it up with much speed.
Here's Andrew McKenna, 1 for 2. He had a 2-run flare to left in the first inning. Steps in the lefty batter's box. Madero's first pitch is just off the inside, 1-0. 8-3 the score, bottom four, excuse me. Madero's long, lanky right-hander delivers, and McKenna fouls it off past the Crawdads dugout, 1-1.
Sometimes I question if McKenna needs to shorten his approach a little bit. He does have a pretty big swing.
The 1-1. He grounds this one through the 3-4 hole into right field. Garcia picks it up on a couple hops, and McKenna's on for the second time tonight.
I think there, instead of the result on the swing and miss, the difference was the swing was just a little more compact and was just able to stay right on the ball, and not that different from what we saw Zach DeGero do last night in Healdsburg.
A phenomenal game last night in Healdsburg for the Dads, and a phenomenal game for Zach DeGero. He was very good. He had one of his best days in the 2 summers he's been with the Crawdads. Here's Joe Barnhart, 1 for 2. He takes the first pitch for a strike, a slider.
And it was really great to see him and Gabe Tanner at the end of the game really combined to shut everything down.
McKenna back in safely to first. He really just had to take a step back to get on. Barnhart 1 for 2, but hit the ball extremely hard to second base his last time up. He takes called strike 2, 0-2. Oh, and 2 to the Crawdads' 8th place hitter who's playing third base today. Madero's delivers. Inside, comes in and hits Barnhart.
I wish we could say that's the first time we've seen that today, but it's not.
It's what, the 5th hit by pitch today?
5th hit by pitch. Each team has beaten some men, and you hate seeing that. I mean, that one wasn't in a bad area or anything like that in terms of where to get hit, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every area you can get hit on is a bad area to get hit.
It's never fun getting hit by a pitch. Here's Casey Cummings, who is swinging it very well recently. 3 for 5 the other day against Sonoma. Already 1 for 1 today. He doubled in his first at bat. He takes down and in, 1-0. Cummings scored 2 runs today. He was hit by a pitch his last at bat. He also doubled straight past the third base line. 4 for 6 in his last 2 games with a pair of doubles. The 1-0. Flared, right center field, and it'll drop into right field. Coming up with it, Garcia. His throw's going to come to third. McKenna slides in safely just ahead of the throw. And Casey Cummings, a 2 for 2 day. Wow.
Cummings has been pretty good the last couple of games here, and really, I was going to say, during that at-bat, if it went any longer, the Crawdads have gotten some good production the last 2 games out of the bottom third of the order, and I think that's been a really welcome sign for them. They were able to get some runs out of the bottom third of the order last night with Zach DeGero banging in a couple and Cameron Calvillo, so, I mean, just good stuff from the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Dads.
Here's Coleman Schmidt with the bases loaded. We know the damage he can do in this spot. First pitch to Schmidt is right down the pipe, called strike 1 on an off-speed pitch. The bottom 3 in this lineup is now 5 for 6. Excuse me, 5 for 7. Schmidt, however, 0 for 0. The 0-1 is right down the middle again with a slider, called strike 2.
And
walked twice today.
During that game against Sonoma on the 27th, Cummings hit 9th, and he had a hit and a double, so he's been coming alive.
0-2 to the dangerous Coleman Schmidt. Madero's fires. Schmidt chops it to third, could be 2. Jones taps on the third base bag for 1, fires across the diamond to first. What a play by Jaden Jones. He is so strong at the hot corner. Gets a double play to end the inning. For the first time today, the Crawdads do not score. We'll head top 5, 8-3 the score here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 5th inning, Trey Topping to lead off for Solano. Topping, the CCL All-Star, getting his first plate appearance of the day. First pitch from Ryan Fleming is right on the inside edge, called strike one. Trey Topping out of Willamette University in Oregon. Topping hitting .253, no home runs, 10 runs batted in, as the 0-1 is up and away with a breaker, 1-1. Topping had a huge 3-run double the other day when the Crawdads and Mudcats played up at Vanden in Fairfield. Fleming is ready, and the 1-1 to the catcher Topping is a little low, 2-1. That double came after manager Cummings elected to intentionally walk Jaden Jones to load the bases. Topping was the 8th place hitter that day. He's hit usually in the middle of the lineup, but has slumped recently as the 2-1 is hit high out towards right and foul. And that double gave Solano a 3-1 lead. The Crawdads were up 1-0 till that point. Some really good defense, but Topping just clobbered a ball to right center.
Mark Perkins really had a great start that afternoon at Vanden High.
2-2. Laced to left field, but foul.
Just a little out in front there is Topping, and that was a mislocation there from Fleming. Probably won't make that mistake again. It's very rare that you see Fleming make a couple of pitches back-to-back that are hangers.
Fleming readies. The 2-2 to Topping is chopped third base side. Foul past the reach of Joe Barnhart in foul territory.
Much better there from Ryan Fleming, able to get that ball down, and almost having to swing and protect is Topping, even though the count even at 2-2.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. High fastball got him to chase for the first out of the inning.
And that's what changing the eye level can do there. He did miss badly with a slurve that was fouled away, but then was able to locate the next one down, and it was fouled. But just ramps up a fastball, and nothing that Topping can do about it.
Here's Chase Hildy, the second baseman. First pitch to Hildy is swung on and missed in the dirt. Got Hildy to chase as well, and there's one strike. Hildy 0 for 2 today. The 0-1 is outside, 1-1. There's only one hit currently in the Solano lineup. Cole Santander had 2 of them, and now he's out. So the only guy that's really seen the Crawdads pitching well is Telly Hill, as the 1-1 misses low, 2-1.
Yeah, otherwise, just some trouble created by the Crawdads themselves. Really just Zach Button on the mound.
2-1. Chopper, second base, Corio over towards the base. The bag is up with it and throws to first in time for the second out.
Shortstop, Jared
Ryan
Wood.
Fleming, when he's on his A game, gets ground balls. Did it right there. He is so good at that.
And you can tell, he had to come in right out of the bullpen, be a fireman in a bases-loaded situation, put the fire out. But you can tell his presence out there on the mound, it brings a lot of calm to everybody else out on the field for the Crawdads and puts a little fear in the lineup of the opposing team.
First pitch to Jared Wood, the shortstop, is hit high, right side. Brome gives it a look, gives it chase, but it sails out of play. Ryan Fleming has seen Solano a lot. He's thrown 14 innings against them. In his last start, he was very good. Went 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. And then, of course, in what may have been the best outing of a Crawdad this summer, his second start of the summer against Solano, he went 7 innings, just 4 hits. He was in 1 3-ball count that entire game. 0-1. He fires outside, ball 1.
There have been some great performances this summer by some Crawdads pitchers. Fleming with one of them. Been treated to a couple of good ones this week.
1-1 is lined over the third base bag, just foul. Called by third base umpire Ron Masso.
Not sure how Ron Masso made that call so accurately. He turned his back. He had to turn around. His back was to where the ball landed, and he turned around late and ended up calling it foul.
So Fleming maybe gifted one there. I couldn't tell where that landed. No argument from the Solano dugout, however, so likely foul. The 1-2. Fleming gets a ground ball to second base. Corio backhands it, flips to first in time. What a play by Tyson Corio. Wow. Fleming gets a 1-2-3 inning with a little help from his friends. We'll head bottom 5, 8-3 the score here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Danville, California. The guy that sent Solano home packing in the last inning, Tyson Corio, will lead off the inning. Tyson Corio has really solidified that second base position, as we've mentioned, and now he's become more than just a solid player. The first pitch is called strike one on the inside, 0-1. Corio, for a while, was a very solid guy in this Crawdads lineup. He did what he needed to do. He was consistent, and now he's kind of turning into a star. The 0-1. Corio hits it high drive, deep right field. Just foul. Wow.
Kind of turning into a star, kind of almost hitting a home run there. Tyson Corio looking for back-to-back games with big flies. Almost got that. He hit that very high and deep, but just wasn't able to tuck it inside the foul pole.
That ball was clobbered. Wow. Just a long strike. As Coach Ralph says, you're never going to hit the ball after you hit a long strike, as the 0-2 is down low. 1-2.
Just going to say, what do you think is going to happen here after very loud foul ball?
The 0-2. Corio lines this one through the right side. A base hit.
Corio able to break the curse of long foul balls and then able to get a hit.
Left fielder Ryan Brome.
Wow. I mean, that ball, it's tough to get over how hard that ball was hit. But he hit one maybe even quicker through the right side. Here's Ryan Brome, who's 0 for 2. Pickoff move, but in safely is Corio.
Corio watched it too.
I mean, he knew he would have to, it was either gone or foul. First pitch to Brome is called strike one. Brome turns back to the umpire, says, no way. Oh, 0-1 to Brome. Medeiros fires. Brome lines this one up the middle. Caught on a hop by Medeiros to second for one. Wood throws to first in time to get Brome. Nice play by Coleman Medeiros, picking it up off his foot and making turning a double play.
Usually don't see 1-6-3 double plays, but we did right there. And just a great job by Medeiros to bend down and pick that one. And tough day for Ryan Brome in terms of score sheet results. He's been on base 3 times, but 2 of them errors and 1 a walk.
Does have 2 RBI. Coleman Schmidt having fun on the mound. He's bopping his head to Kvar's Tears walk-up song. Tears 2 for 3 today. Has continued a stretch of good play. First pitch called strike 1 on the inside. Tears asked to take a step out of the box and readjust. The 0-1. Down and in. Tears halfway to that elusive cycle. Singled and doubled today. He's gotten the 2 easy ones out of the way. The 1-1. Tears takes called strike 2 at the base of the strike zone, 1 and 2.
And the triple, I mean, I think that's the toughest one to get.
Oh, easily.
Corio got that last night, though.
But I think it's easier, I say in air quotes, when there's some funky dimensions to a baseball field. Monte Vista very straight up. You have to be right into the right field corner, pretty much. The 1-2. Tears takes called strike 3 on the outside. Colin Medeiros having a very nice day on the bump. Led top 6, 8-3, still the score here on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 6th inning, Ryan Fleming back out to the bump. He worked a very efficient second inning of work. And he'll be facing Noah Garcia to lead off, the big left-handed batter who's having a very nice summer up in Solano. Garcia batting average at .275. Can hit a little bit. First pitch of the 6th inning is chopped second base side, and this one gets through into center field. Corio, maybe only a little magic. He wasn't able to make that play.
Well, if he was able to come up with that ball, that would have been, as you said, magic. It would have been magical. He did make a great play last time out here defensively for the Crawdads, going across his body with a nice throw, but that one just perfectly slotted in between the middle infielders.
Here's Jaden Jones, who's 0 for 1, is also taking a walk. First pitch to Jones is right on the outside, 0-1. Jones, it's difficult because he is so good against the Crawdads, and then you look at his average and you say there's no way this guy is hitting just .211. The 0-1 misses up high.
Against the Crawdads, he seems to put the ball in play well, do some damage, as well as just make stellar plays defensively.
.11 hit high on the infield. Corio, and he makes the catch right past the second base bag for the first out of the inning.
Tough to fight the sun there, but routine play made. That ball was hit very high. Major league pop up there.
So I mentioned Jaden Jones very good against the Crawdads. He's 4 for 13, which doesn't look great overall. 2 RBI, 2 doubles, but in that 2-game stretch, the 2 games at Walnut Creek and Walnut Creek and Solano played against each other up in Solano. He was combined 4 for 7 with 2 doubles. First pitch to the lefty, Telly Hill, is lined into left field. Will it drop fair? It will, and into the left field corner. Garcia will stop at third base. Telly Hill into second with the double. He's 2 for 3.
Telly Hill putting in work today, doing a good job. Double, and now 2 runners in scoring position. And Ryan Fleming was able to get out of a bases loaded at jam when he came into this game, and now he's got 2 to deal with right now.
Second and third, just 1 out. We'll see if Fleming can get out of this jam. Tasso Foster, the man in the way. 8-3 the score. Fleming from the windup delivers the first pitch outside on a slurve. 1-0. Mudcats not out of this game. The 1-0 is fouled off to the right into the Crawdads bullpen.
Even though the Crawdads would still have the lead, if that ball was fair and landed, it would almost be a little bit of a gut punch, giving up 2 opposite field hits, probably for extra bases if that does land fair, but just a foul ball.
The 0-1 is just a little outside, 2-1. Tasso Foster, very adept at taking the walk, as the tremendous Jonah Krell says. The 2-1 is called strike 2. As I was saying, the tremendous Jonah Krell says death, taxes, and Tasso Foster taking walks, as I do with Ryan Bromer. But it's 2-2 to Foster. A strikeout situation for Ryan Fleming. Hill on second, Garcia on third. Fleming fires. Chopper back to the mound. Garcia comes home. The tag is there. Nice play by Ryan Fleming.
A great job by Fleming. He knew exactly what he wanted to do as soon as he fielded the ball off the hop. Just got it to McKenna nice and easy. Didn't really think about it, overthink about it, pause. He just fired it over there, and McKenna just had to wait there and apply the tag to Garcia. And kind of good on Garcia for slowing up there and not running into McKenna in terms of safety, but also gives his team a chance to have runners at first and third. McKenna not able to go over to first for a double play.
So a big out number 2 here. And now it's Michael Benavides, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and a walk, has scored a run. Runners on the corners. First pitch is just off the outside with a fastball, 1-0. Fleming now throwing pitch number 34. 22 strikes to 11 balls. Solid ratio, not perfect. The 1-0 is called strike 1 on the inside. Benavides checked his swing. It's a big zone on the inside half for Harvey Maxey, not so much on the outside. A little different than what we're used to seeing and what really baseball in general is used to seeing. There's that dreaded outside edge. But Maxey doing more on the inside as the 1-1 misses down and in.
And that was a strike there, but since the location was missed from Fleming, he does not get the call. McKenna set up outside, picked the ball back over the inner portion of the plate. Hate that as a pitcher. It's a strike no matter what.
2-1. Slurve, grounded past third, but foul. Just past the third base bag. 2-2. Deuces are wild. Runners on first and third. Fleming looking to get out of a second straight jam. The 2-2. Benavides just stays alive, chopping a big slurve, foul back off McKenna. 8-3 the score here in the top of the 6th inning. The game the Crawdads will have their eyes on, just about to get underway. Sonoma and Lincoln in Sonoma, which should favor the Stompers. 2-2. Fleming deals. Strike 3 swinging. Got him to chase the slurve. There's the hat trick for Michael Benavides. Fleming gets the punch out and strands the bases with runners on the corners. We'll head bottom 6, 8-3 the score here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Leading off the bottom of the sixth.
Bottom of the sixth inning, the Walnut Creek Crawdads up 8-3. It's been a very nice performance out of the bullpen for Ryan Fleming. His second straight time coming out of the bullpen. I think manager Brant Cummings thinking maybe he provides more value if he can come in and throw 3 innings every 3 days rather than 7 every week, as the first pitch to Jack Ben Shoshan is outside, 1-0. Ben Shoshan flied out to left field, brought in a run with a sac fly his first at bat, and then hit a smash that was caught his last time up. 0-for-1 is Ben Show.
And having to make some of those moves was manager Brant Cummings because of some players' departures in that bullpen. Oh, almost forcing the hand, but it's worked out.
1-0. Ben Shoshan takes right down the middle with a slurve. 1-1. Medeiros very funky. He's been pretty good today. The 1-1 on the outside. Ben Show doesn't think so. 1-2.
Ben Show's hoping that the next time he pitches, if it's at home and say Sunday and Harvey Maxey's the home plate umpire, he wants that call.
The 1-2 is way outside. Even Harvey Maxey can't call this one a strike. 2-2.
Yeah, that was about 4 feet away from the plate. Interesting positioning on the outfielders.
The 2-2, Ben Shoshan takes just a little inside. It is interesting. They're very shallow.
Yeah, they're shallow, and DeSalle is shaded slightly to the camera's right, his left. There's a lot of room to play with in left center for Jack Ben Shoshan.
The 3-2, Ben Shoshan takes outside ball 4. I mean, Ben Shoshan has power.
He can hit the ball hard, and with how far in the outfielders were playing, it was fascinating to see, and now they're shifting more back towards their normal positions, but still pretty far in. But if he hits the ball hard, it's going over someone's head.
Here's Cam Calvillo, the shortstop. Calvillo 1 for 3 today. Pickoff move. Ben Show back in safely at first.
And now with Calvillo up, Kenny DeSalle, the center fielder, is shifted to the camera's left, his right.
Calvillo, a lot of power towards the pull side. First pitch flared into left field. Benavides coming in, fakes the glove up, and it gets by him. And Ben Shoshan's going to be on third. Calvillo tries to go for second. The throw to second is wild. Telly Hill backs it up. And just a mess of a play by Michael Benavides.
Michael Benavides, who has made just one of the best plays we've seen all summer in the CCL out in left field, robbing Kavara's tears there, tries to go with a glove fake to try to hold some runners, but doesn't work out. Takes his eye off the ball literally, and it gets by him.
I keep checking that Sonoma Lincoln game, but for those of you who are familiar with the Sonoma Stompers home field, they usually don't start until about 20 minutes past scheduled first pitch time. So we'll keep updating you on that one. Here's Andrew McKenna with runners on second and third and no outs. First pitch with the infield in, comes in, and does it hit McKenna? No, it does not. Just ball 1.
Well, they have to run like 4 races, make about 15 announcements, and then Rawhide has to do his thing. And then they can start the game.
And then they'll announce lineups.
They'll announce lineups.
1-0 to the catcher, Andrew McKenna, with the infield drawn in. Calvillo stands on second and Ben Shoshan off third. The 1-0. McKenna takes right down the pipe, 1-1. That Lincoln-Sonoma game so important to the Crawdads, who sit just a game behind the Potters for second place with a contest up in Lincoln tomorrow. The 1-1. McKenna takes just a little low, 2-1.
And that's a pitch that this season we have seen McKenna try to go down and get, but holding off there. Good job from Andrew.
The 2-1. McKenna takes down and in. Did he go? No, he does not, says Ron Mosso, the third base umpire, excuse me. That game for the Crawdads tomorrow night in Lincoln is going to be tough. You never want to have to win a game in Lincoln. The 3-1 to McKenna is popped up left side foul.
The Crawdads are going to need A good pitching performance out of the presumed starter Hollis Fanning tomorrow. He's been the Saturday guy. You would think that he will go, and the last time he was in Lincoln kind of got blown up.
The 3-2 pitch, the payoff to Andrew McKenna. Medeiros from the windup, kicks and deals. McKenna takes inside, ball 4. The bases are loaded.
Well, this has been a trend today. The Crawdads have been able to have the bases loaded. They have 8 runs to show for it so far, and with nobody out. And Joe Barnhart up at the plate, who's hit the ball pretty hard today. You like the Crawdads' chances, even though Barnhart, batting below 200 coming into this ball game, was at 170 at game start.
But he's hit the ball hard today. He's 1 for 2 to get his average up to 182. First pitch to the big third baseman is on the outside, an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1. Ben Show on third, Calvillo on second, and Andrew McKenna on first. The outfield still playing pretty far in. However, the infield is back in the middle and in on the corners. The 0-1. Barnhart grounds it to third. Jones up with it, comes home for 1. Topping back to first in time to get McKenna the third double play that the Crawdads have grounded into today. That was Barnhart grounding into that, excuse me. And 3 straight innings with a double play for the Crawdads.
That is not what you need. I know they have a 5-run lead, but if there's anybody who's going to be fuming about that, it's going to be manager Brant Cummings. In one regard, you have to be happy that Barnhart put the ball in play, but maybe not the pitch he should have went after, and just an easy ground ball to handle for the infielders.
Here's Casey Cummings, the right fielder today, who has had a very good game to raise his average all the way up to 209, up above the Mendoza line. First pitch to Casey is on the outside, 0-1. Casey Cummings, the first time his average has seen that Mendoza line since the slow trip, the Santa Barbara trip, the SoCal trip. 0-1. Cummings takes just a little outside, maybe a tad low, 1-1. You know Casey Cummings is a good player.
He's been showing it the last couple of days, especially.
Combined 5 for 7 his last 2 games. The 1-1. Cummings swings and misses. A good off-speed pitch. Cummings way out in front. Was not expecting that. And it's 1-2. The Crawdads had bases loaded, no outs. If Solano is able to escape this without allowing a run, that would be huge for their chances. 1-2 to Cummings. Medeiros fires. Cummings takes just outside, ball 2. Medeiros started galloping off the mound, but couldn't get the call.
Seen pitchers do that so often this season. Saw it yesterday out of Caden Noah in Healdsburg. And the whole team left.
The 2-2. Cummings stays alive, fouls it off his shins. The count stays even at 2.
He might get a little extra time here, just walk that off. But that was so out of the ordinary to see that happen. Joey Gomes came out to appeal his case a couple times. All of the prune packers went back to the dugout, and home plate umpire Dean Pody kept having to tell him, come on, guys, back on the field, back on the field. And it took about 10 minutes before everything was back, and eventually there was an out anyway, and then everybody left. But that really broke the game up for a little bit.
Yeah, it was funky. We haven't seen that. It was a call that was overturned, a foul tip that was overturned in favor of the Crawdads, and then Joey Gomes kept trying to appeal his case to no avail. 2-2 to Cummings, who's 2 for 2 today, with runners on second and third. Deuce is very wild here. And timeout called by Cummings in the batter's box. 8-3 the score. Bottom 6. The 2-2 to Cummings. Chopped third base side, foul.
I think that time call was everything on that pitch there from Cummings. He just didn't like the pace right there for that pitch and called time and able to fight one off. And he's just waiting to see something over the middle of the plate, take a big hack.
The 2-2 one more time. Cummings lines this one to right field. Garcia over his head. Cummings around first. McKenna scores all the way to the wall. Cummings around second. He's into third. Standing a 2-out, 2 RBI triple. Have yourself a day, Casey Cummings.
Well, this is his best game as a Crawdad this season, and I feel like we've been saying that a little bit over the past 3 games for the Crawdads. Yesterday, definitely with Gabe Tanner, and maybe even for Zach DeGero, and now with Casey Cummings.
Wow, Casey Cummings, 3/4 of the way to a cycle.
I for a second, Garcia was having a little trouble out there and right. I was thinking, is that going to be an inside the park home run? It was not. He'll have to settle for a triple.
Here's Coleman Schmidt, who's 0 for 1 today. First pitch to Schmitty. High pop-up, right side. Hill going back, as is Foster, towards the first base line. Foster makes the catch to end the inning. But Casey Cummings, a 2-out triple to bring in 2. That one's huge for the Crawdads. Top 7 when we come back. Alon to say on play-by-play here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Top of the 7th inning. Alon to say here with you. I'll take you the rest of the way. Austin Oda going to work on getting some social media posts up and some different content for all you Crawdads fans. Kenny DeSalle leading things off here in the top of the 7th. It's a 10-3 ball game that the Crawdads are out in front in. They count 1-0 after that pitch misses. 1-0 pitch. That finds a zone. The count 1-1. Well, the Crawdads were able to use 2 pitchers last night in Healdsburg. That was huge. The 1-1 pitch, and this misses outside. And the count 2-1. But they're on their second pitcher today. Button was able to go multiple innings, and Fleming now in relief. 2-1 pitch off the end of the bat over to the second baseman, Corio, who flips on to first. A nice cross-body throw from Corio, and 1 away. DeSalle now 0 for 4. And here's Trey Topping. Topping was inserted into the ball game for Cole Santander, the catcher, due to an injury. Saw the trainer go check him out. And the Topping hits this over to the second baseman in the hole. Corio has it and throws to first. Couple of quick outs here on the board. There's 2 away. It's still 10-3 Crawdads. So a couple of 4-3s back-to-back. Ice and Corio busy here in the top of the 7th. And here is Chase Hildy. Hildy has grounded out twice to Corio. And sandwiched in between there is a fielder's choice. As the pitch Good slurve in there for strike number 1. Count 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. There's a big swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Things just underway at Arnold Field in Sonoma. The 0-2 pitch just misses high. The count 1-2. Lincoln visiting Sonoma. It's the top of the first. 0-0. At the MLB Urban Youth Academy in Compton, the Barons are tied with the Arroyo Seco Saints. It's still scoreless, and this misses away. The count 2-2. Healdsburg leads the San Francisco Seals up in Healdsburg at Recreation Park, 1-0 in the bottom of the second. 2-2 pitch. This is fouled out of play. Count stays 2-2. And the OC Riptide visiting the San Luis Obispo Blues at Sinsheimer Park. That's in the top of the second, and the Riptide with an early 2-0 lead. So that's what is happening around the rest of the CCL. And swing and a miss. Fleming just on fire. Another strikeout registered by Ryan Fleming out of the bullpen. He now has 4. After 6.5 innings, the Crawdads still up by 7. It is 10-3 here in Danville, bottom of the 7th. Coming up when we return after the 7-inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Crawdads up big against the visiting Solano Mudcats. It is 10-3 Walnut Creek. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Mudcats. It is the 6'9" righty, Dylan McShane. He'll be over at the University of Oregon. Young Mr. Austin Oda's soon-to-be alma mater after he graduates, which we all know he will. McShane comes in 0-2 with an 11.02 ERA. This is his 8th appearance. He's thrown 16 1/3 innings, 19 strikeouts, 17 walks, 20 hits. The Crawdads with a chance against a pitcher who allows a lot of runs to get some more. They lead by 7. It's 10-3. Kavares Tears leading things off. Check that, not Kavares Tears. That's Tyson Corio. First pitch misses outside. The count 1-0. 1-0 in there. Count 1-1. After Corio, it is Brome, then Kavares Tears. So 2, 3, and 4 for the Crawdads. Count 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, that's whipped in there, but misses just a bit high, does the newly inserted Dylan McShane. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. Final line is in for Colin Medeiros. 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, neither of them earned. And this pitch misses. The count, 3 balls and a strike. Walk 2, struck out 2, face 14. Today's starter for the Mudcats, Anthony Galindo. 3 innings, 6 hits, 8 runs total, 5 of them earned, walked 5, struck out 1. And this is chopped up the middle. It's fielded by Jared Wood, the shortstop. And he makes a nice throw on the run over to first to get Tyson Corio. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. So here's Ryan Brome. Been on base 3 times today. But still looking for a hit. He's forced Solano to make some bad plays defensively, has induced a couple of errors. The first pitch here from McShane misses outside. The count 1-0. 1-0 pitch, and Brome, is he going to get his first hit of the day? He will. Even though Noah Garcia in right field was playing in, that ball just lofted and then dropped right in front of the feet of Garcia, and Brome has a hit. He is now 1 for 4.
Designated hitter Tavares Tears.
Oh, here is Tavares Tears, the designated hitter, who had a hit, came around to score in the first. Doubled in the second, flew out to right in the third, and struck out in the 5th. So Tears, the lefty, against the righty McShane. McShane, the second man out of the bullpen. What is now turning into this evening here in Danville for the Mudcats, as this pitch misses away to Tears, and the count 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Tears. This bounces in the dirt, and the count 2-0. So there is a score now in Sonoma. In the top of the first, the Lincoln Potters have the lead 1-0. Pitch here, and running on it is Brome, and he is safe at second. It looked like a pretty good throw from Topping, but it couldn't be fielded effectively by the covering shortstop, Jared Wood, and Brome has a stolen base. So Brome now over at second, the count 2-1. Tavares Tears waiting on the pitch. Now set is McShane, and he delivers, and the 2-1 is fouled away. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brome now just 1 steal away from 10. Has great speed out in the outfield. Haven't seen him steal a whole lot of bases, but hasn't really attempted to. But he has one during this at-bat here. In the bottom of the 7th, with 1 away. He has his lead off of second. And the 2-2 pitch to Tears. This runs in on him. He checks his swing, and Ron Masso down at third says that Tavares Tears did go. Tears doesn't like it, and he's rung up. So Tears, in his last 2 at-bats, has struck out. And here comes Jack Ben-Shoshan.
Left fielder Jack Ben-Shoshan.
Pitch to Ben-Shoshan. Does this come in and get him? And it does. Ben-Shoshan taken out on 1 pitch there. He's over at first. Oh, McShane was trying to tuck in a breaking ball, and it hits Ben-Shoshan right on the elbow. So a couple of runners on for the Crawdads with 2 away here. The hit by pitches and the walks has been a major issue for the Solano pitching staff this afternoon. So Cameron Calvillo going to go after the first pitch he sees and pulls this foul, but he hit it pretty hard. And the count 0-1. It's 10-3 Crawdads here in Danville. Runners have their leads. And the pitch. This comes in and hits Calvillo. So that's back-to-back batters plunked there by McShane. And the bases are loaded. That game in Sonoma now in the bottom of the first. So the Potters still with the lead. It's 1-0, but they were just able to get one in that top half of the opening frame. Crawdads look like they are cruising so far here in Danville. It's 10-3. They're up by 7, and they have a chance to keep adding on with Andrew McKenna up to the plate. McKenna walked in his last at-bat, came around to score, had a hit in the 4th, and a 2 RBI single in the first. The first pitch to McKenna is a fastball on the outside black for strike number 1. In the 3rd, McKenna flew out to left. That was probably the hardest hit ball that he had. And McShane has his sign from Topping. He fires. McKenna hits this on the ground. It's going to be an easy play there for the second baseman Foster, who flips it over to first and gets McKenna for out number 3. The Crawdads threaten. They did have the bases loaded, not able to score any runs, so it is still 10-3. They leave the bases loaded. Top of the 8th coming up. See if Fleming is still on the mound for the Crawdads, and it looks like it is going to be Ryan Fleming. We'll be right back with more Crawdads baseball when we return here from Danville, California on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 8th inning. Fleming still on the mound for the Crawdads. He's been good so far for the Dats. Came in to relieve today's starter, Zach Button. Button went 3 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs all earned, walked 4, struck out 1. All 3 runs that the Mudcats have scored were charged to Button. Fleming came in with the bases loaded in the 4th with 2 away and was able to get out of it. Or with 1 away, rather. And was able to get 2 outs and get out of the jam. So far, Fleming has pitched just an out shy of 4 innings, so he's at 3 2/3, has given up 2 hits. No runs, obviously, no walks, has struck out 4, has faced 13. Oh, it looks like it's Fleming's game the rest of the way, but there is a pitcher warming up, doing some light tossing out there in the bullpen for the Crawdads. I believe that's Diamond Loosely. Pitch here from Fleming, and that's in there for strike. To Jared Wood, it's Wood, Garcia, and Jones for Solano. Pitch to Wood, and that's in there for a strike as well. Good job framing it by McKenna. It looked like it was maybe an inch off the plate, but was just able to nudge that mitt back in and got the strike call. So the count 0-2, 10-3 Crawdads. Fleming looking to do what Gabe Tanner did last evening, as this ball is hit down the left field line but lands just foul by about a foot. Pulling a ball there was Jared Wood. He's still looking for his first hit. Grounded out 4-3 a couple of times. In the 2nd and the 5th, and then in the 3rd, he flew out to left. The count 0-2 to the leadoff batter here in the top of the 8th. Gabe Tanner pitched 6 innings of shutout ball last night. Fleming trying to get to 4 innings with an out here without giving up a run, but he misses outside. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Things have settled down a bit since Fleming has come in. 1-2 pitch. He's been able to limit base runners, but he just gave up a single up the middle there. And Fleming, frustrated with it, just laid in a cookie there for Jared Wood, who lined it straight back up the box. And Fleming was visibly frustrated after just giving up his 3rd hit of the ballgame, now in relief of Zach Button. So a runner on first for Solano, and here's Noah Garcia. Wood now 1 for 4. Pitch here to Garcia. That's a strike authored by Fleming on the outside corner. Count 0-1. Pitch here to Garcia, misses high. The count, a ball and a strike. Still nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Crawdads, though, with a healthy 7-run lead. 1-1 pitch, and that is right at the knees over the plate for strike number 2. So far, the line score: the Crawdads with 10 runs, 12 hits, an error. The Mudcats 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors. This pitch runs inside and gets by McKenna all the way to the backstop. So advancing to second is Jared Wood. The count going to be even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Loosely still warming up out there in the bullpen. But he's just playing catch. No one's in the squat, and he's not throwing out of the windup out there. The 2-2 pitch to Garcia. He swings, hits this over to Calvillo, goes down on a knee to get it, and he actually makes the catch before it hit the ground. It looked like Calvillo trapped that, but he sold it well, and I think what he was aiming to do all the way was catch that ball and then double up Wood over at second. So a heady play from the shortstop, but Wood, not fooled, stayed parked over at second base. He read the ball well off the bat, and there's 1 away.
Third baseman, Jaden Jones.
So here is Jaden Jones after Garcia lines out to Calvillo at short. The pitch to Jones with Wood hopping off of second, and the first pitch is a strike. The count 0-1. Jones flew out to left in the second, walked in the 4th, and popped out in the 6th. 0-1, a big hack. Coming up empty is Jones, and the count 0-2. Oh, here's the 0-2 from Flem, and he gets a strikeout, number 5 today for Ryan Fleming out of the bullpen. Sit him down, Ryan Fleming. And grabbing a chair there for Jaden Jones. Ryan Fleming is just dealing this evening. So here's Telly Hill. It's 10-3 Crawdads. There's 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Jared Wood over at second. And the pitch to Hill misses far outside. The count 1-0. Telly Hill has a couple of doubles today. He's been good at the plate for the Mudcats. Had one in the 3rd, flew out to left in the 4th, and had a double in his last at-bat as this pitch nearly gets by McKenna, but misses low and inside, but McKenna able to pick it. The count 2-0. Wood not being held on at second with 2 outs here. And the Crawdads up big. The 2-0 pitch from Fleming is a fastball that misses low and away, and the count 3 balls and no strikes. So Fleming now has thrown 43 strikes to 22 balls. He's up at 65 pitches, and pitch number 66 is a hard liner up the middle, and that's going to score Wood from second. And have a day, Telly Hill. Telly Hill now 3 for 4. And he has pretty much been the offense today, at least the most consistent hitter for Solano. It is now 10-4 Crawdads. So a run does cross on Fleming's watch. Not able to replicate what Gabe Tanner did last night, but for the Crawdads, it's just about getting out of the top of the 8th here. There's 2 away. Hill's over at first. And here's Tasso Foster. Pitch to Foster, a slurve that hits the high inside quadrant of the zone. Righty Foster took all the way, and the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Another slurve, but it ends up low, below the knees. And the count, a ball and a strike. Crawdads just trying to get out of this top of the 8th, and that ball had a chance to stay fair. It looked like initially, but then just kept winding foul and lands in the bullpen of the Crawdads, and the count 1-2. One-two pitch to the number 9 hitter, Tasso Foster, and he swings and misses. Fleming letting out a little bit of frustration there after giving up a run in the top of the 8th. He gets a strikeout, his 6th in this relief appearance. We wonder if that will be all for Fleming, as Diamond Loosely is still getting warm in the bullpen, although now manager Brant Cummings will have some time to think about what he wants to do. But after 7.5, it is 10-4. The Mudcats getting one in the top of the 8th, but that is it. And we'll be back with more Crawdads baseball, bottom of the 8th, when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 8th, 10-4 Crawdads. Joe Barnhart leading off this half of the inning. It's Barnhart, Cummings, then Schmidt. Still McShane on the mound for Solano. And the first pitch is a strike. A little bit of two-seam action on that fastball there from the tall righty McShane. The count 0-1. Barnhart has a hit. That was back in the 3rd and came around to score. So he was able to get in the hit column, and now he'll get in the hit by pitch column for a second time this game. And Barnhart getting beat up out there. Not so much over at third base defensively, but he's been plunked a couple of times. So Barnhart, 6-4 ground out in the 1st, had a hit in the 3rd, hit by a pitch in the 4th, hit into a double play in the 6th, and once again he's hit by another pitch. Oh, the Crawdads have been hit by quite a few pitches this ball game. Here's Casey Cummings, who in his last at-bat had 2 RBI triple. He hits this high in foul territory. Telly Hill, is he going to make the catch in foul territory past the dugout of the Crawdads? And he does. So a good play there by Telly Hill, the first baseman, drifting very far into foul territory. And there's ample room out here at Monte Vista. So there's one out. So a P3 in foul territory. And here is Coleman Schmidt with a runner on, 10-4 ball game that the Crawdads lead. This is a fastball that is swung on and foul tipped back into the catcher Trey Topping, and he's going to try to loosen up that right arm. Looked like he hit him high on the chest protector around the right shoulder area. The count 0-1. The Crawdads, with Barnhart being hit by a pitch to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th, have been hit 6 times. That is correct, 6 times by Solano Mudcats pitchers. The pitching has been inaccurate for Solano today. 0-1 to Schmidt, and that misses low. And the count, a ball and a strike. Coleman Schmidt walked and scored in the first, walked in the second, was hit by a pitch in the third, one of those 6 hit by pitches, hit into a double play in the fourth, and was not able to register a hit in the 6th. So he's still looking for some success up there at the plate, although a couple of walks. That's pretty good for Coleman, especially after last night. He went 0 for 5 in Healdsburg, but the Crawdads didn't really require his powerful bat to win that game. They ended up winning 8-2. Pickoff move over to first, but back in safely is Joe Barnhart to count 2 balls and a strike. McShane is set, deals to Schmidt, misses low, and the count 3 balls and a strike. An update from Arnold's Field after the next pitch. 3 balls, a strike to Coleman Schmidt. Here it is. Schmidt hits it on the ground over to Jared Wood, the shortstop, who flips on to second for 1, and the relay over to first. In time, Telly Hill does not drop this one, and that's a double play, the second one that's been batted into by Coleman Schmidt. So we'll get you that scoring update from Sonoma on the other side of the break. Top of the 9th coming up. We'll see if there's a new pitcher for the Crawdads. They lead 10-4 here in Danville, California. Top of the 9th inning here in Danville, California. Alon Desai here with you for what the Crawdads are hoping is the last half inning they have to play today. Diamond Loosely now out on the mound for the Dads. Ryan Fleming, excellent in his relief appearance this evening, a game that started at 4:07. We're getting close to 7 o'clock here in Danville. The temperature kind of cooling down and the wind starting to blow in. See football practice going on here at Monte Vista High School. But Diamond Loosely comes in 2-0 with an ERA at 9. This was his 6th appearance. All previous 5 were out of the bullpen. He's thrown 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 8 walks, 10 hits given up. His last appearance on July 23rd was in Lincoln. 9-4 loss for the Crawdads. He threw an inning, didn't give up any runs, gave up a hit, walked 1, struck out 3, faced 6. I do want to give you a scoring update from Sonoma, everybody, as it is 2-1 Stompers right now in the top of the second. Now, Austin Mendocini is going to lead off the top of the 9th. The first pitch from Loosely misses high and in. The count 1-0. Mendocini pinch hitting for Michael Benavidez. It's Mendocini, then DeSalle, and Trey Topping, unless there's any other pinch hitters. It's 10-4 here in Danville. The Crawdads with a 6-run lead. 1-0 pitch is hit into the right center gap. Ranging over is Coleman Schmidt from center, and he makes the catch about 30 feet in front of the wall. A good read on the ball there from Coleman Schmidt. Made sure it didn't get down, and there's 1 away. Oh, here is Kenny DeSalle, the pinch hitter, not paying off there. Benavidez doesn't get a 4th at-bat. He finished his day with 3 strikeouts and a walk. DeSalle is 0 for 4 today. And the pitch from Loosely, here's that slider. That is Loosely's best pitch by far, but it misses low and outside in the count 1-0. So the Crawdads getting a little bit of help right now from the Stompers, who are up by a run. It's 2-1 in Sonoma. The 1-0 pitch, and this aiming for the back foot there was Loosely, trying to paint something inside, but nearly hit DeSalle in the count 2-0. DeSalle has hurt the Crawdads this season. Had a massive grand slam against the Dads at Vanden High School. The last game that the Crawdads played against the Mudcats in Solano, in Fairfield, in Solano County. A 2-0 pitch from Loosely. There's a slider, and that is right over the plate, and the count 2-1. That pitch is outstanding for Diamond Loosely. It's just a question if Diamond can consistently locate the fastball. The 2-1 pitch from Loosely, and there is a pitch that is hung. It's hit very high in the air, but coming in to make the catch is Jack Ben-Shoshan, the left fielder. Had to shade his eyes from the sun, but he had it, and there's 2 away. The Crawdads 1 out away from securing a 10-4 victory here against the Solano Mudcats. Crawdads came in 15-15 in CCL North play. They have a chance to get a game over 500 in the Northern Division. And Trey Topping is the last out here that Loosely has to register. And the first pitch misses inside, the count 1-0. The Crawdads jumped ahead early. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, 2 in the third. As Trey Topping lines this into center field. So hit on a frozen rope there by Trey Topping. Good piece of hitting in a 1-0 count. And there's a 2-out base runner in the top of the 9th in a 10-4 ball game for Solano. They still trail. So here is Chase Hildy, who is 0 for 4 himself. Most recently had a strikeout in the 7th. The lefty Hildy against the righty Loosely. Topping off of first. Is being held on by Brome, and a swing and a miss there. And the count 0-1. Fleming in line to get the victory this evening. 0-1 pitch. That's in there for a strike. The count 0-2. So even though Button made the start, he was not able to go 4 innings. Right now, if things hold up, 0-2 count, 2 away, a runner on first. Crawdads lead by 6, 10-4. If things hold up, Ryan Fleming will get his 4th victory of the summer. The pitch here misses high and outside. There was a fastball in the count 1-2. So Fleming would improve to 4-1. On the other side, Anthony Galindo would get his 4th loss of the season. He would drop to 0-4, but this game not over yet. 1-2 pitch on the way from Loosely to Hildy, and Hildy hits this high and deep to right center. The wind is blowing out, and that ball is gone. So a 2-run homer for Chase Hildy. That's his first home run of the season, and it is now 10-6. Crawdads still in front, but all of a sudden, there is a possibility with one swing of the bat that the Mudcats could get back into this game. They would have to load the bases and hit a grand slam, but we've seen the Mudcats hit grand slams against the Crawdads this season. So the first home run for Chase Hildy this summer for the Mudcats. He is 0-4 no longer. He also collects his 8th RBI. Here comes Jared Wood, who's 1-4, and Wood hits this on the ground to the shortstop. Calvillo has to wait on it, then guns it over to first for out number 3. So Loosely does give up a 2-run homer to Chase Hildy, so getting a little closer were the Mudcats, but ultimately they lose 10-6. The Crawdads victorious. A great day offensively for the Crawdads. Able to score 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 more in the sixth. And they had plenty of offense today. Really good pitching out of the bullpen from Ryan Fleming, who collects his 4th victory of the season. He is now 4-1 with today's outing. And Anthony Galindo, today's starter, is now 0-4 as he just had a very difficult time locating his pitches. The first inning was not good. He gave up 3 and then 3 more in the second, and really the Mudcats were just trying to claw back in the entire game. So the final line score, the Crawdads 10 runs, 12 hits, an error. The Solano Mudcats 6 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. The game started at 4:07. It ended at 7:03. The game nearly 3 hours, just about 4 minutes short, so 2 hours and 56 minutes. Bit of a long game today. But the Crawdads victorious. They are now 16-15 in CCL North play. It is a 3-game winning streak now for the Crawdads. So able to win 3 in a row. That is a very good sign. They are now 23-20 overall. The Mudcats fall to 17-23 overall and 14-17 in CCL North play. It's going to be very hard for the Mudcats to make the playoffs now, as they really needed to win every game remaining for them. So the Crawdads win. They are still in the hunt. If Sonoma is able to pull things out against Lincoln tonight, and Sonoma still leading 2-1 now in the bottom of the second, Sonoma up to bat. But if Sonoma is able to win, there would be a tie between the Lincoln Potters and the Crawdads for second place. Unfortunately for the Crawdads, if the season were to end today, and say even if Lincoln lost, Lincoln would still get the nod over Walnut Creek because they have won 4 out of the 7 games that the two teams have played so far this season. However, the Crawdads, no matter what happens with Lincoln and Sonoma, have a golden opportunity in front of them tomorrow evening at 6:05 against the Potters up in Lincoln. That will be the 8th and final game that those two teams will have played this season. And for the Crawdads, you don't want to say must win because they have a few more outs with a game on Sunday against the Stompers and a possible makeup game if they need it with Healdsburg. But really, they can make their lives a whole heck of a lot easier if they just go up to Lincoln tomorrow evening and win against the Potters. So once again, the Crawdads victorious 10-6 here in Danville, California. For Austin Oda, I'm Alon to say thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow at around 6 p.m. from Lincoln, California, here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.